Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio. This is episode 257 for May 17th, 2018. I'm one of your hosts, Adriel Michaud.
And I'm another one of your hosts, Kelly Lynn.
And we don't have a Trevor. We don't have a Brian. Now, I know Trevor had a match just recently here.
Nope.
No? No. So that match, I don't know, maybe it just didn't go the way he thought it did. I know like he was sending out some complaints on Voxer there about some of the things he thought he could improve on, so maybe it just didn't go that well.
I thought he won. Like maybe he's just not happy with himself.
Yeah, maybe just not happy.
Like Trevor.
No.
Hi, Trevor. What about Brian?
Oh, then there's that Brian guy. You know, when it comes to Brian, I'm pretty sure that his pet monkey just died, so he's probably just really sad about that. Yeah, it's I don't know if our listeners knew that he had a monkey, but yeah, he had one of those little weird looking ones.
All I can think of is he touched my puppy. Yeah, multiplicity. You have to watch it.
Good movie. You shouldn't be like joking about his pet monkey though. It's very serious, Kelly.
Sorry. It's kind of a moment. Anyways.
All right. What We Did in Guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. Right now, they have the SIG P320X5. This is really cool. It's kind of like a competition SIG P320 in 9mm for $1,219, so $1,219. Kind of like right around the pricing of a Shadow 2 kind of a thing, and it is like a competition version of the SIG P320. So really nice trigger on them. And kind of like all kitted out, ready to rock and roll for 3-gun or whatever else.
Nice.
Yeah, they're a really cool gun. Kelly, did you want to start us off with what you did in guns this week?
What I did in guns this week? I did actually a bunch of stuff. So again, the calendar. Please, if you know of anybody who would be interested in being a model, we have the deadline is May 28th. Go onto the CCFR website or not the website, the Facebook page. There's a link there and you can go and submit. So any females or males that identify as females, you can go and submit. So
what about guys who look really good in a banana hammock?
No, I don't want to see banana hammocks. No.
That's not about equality. Equality, what you would say yes. I'm going to file a human rights complaint.
Okay, go ahead, but I'm sure that we won't sell Callan. I was just thinking, no, we won't sell any Callan. Sorry. Trying to support the women's program, not shut it down. Yeah. Oh, what else did I do? Maple Seed. It's Maple Seed all the time. So we went to, actually it was, we redid our season opener. Frontenac, back in April, beginning of April was our first event, but we actually canceled it because of the fact that it was freezing rain so badly that we pretty much shut down the 401. So we rescheduled it for last weekend. It was a pretty great weekend. It was 22, 23 degrees. Again, everybody was shooting in t-shirts. I had the pleasure of shooting with a youth shooter named Charlotte. So it was amazing. And she just, she shot all day. Everything that the adults did, she did as well. She was about 9 years old. She was there with her dad. I wanted to say thank you to Odell Engineering and Ursula. They supplied the ammo for all of our youth shooters. So kids got to shoot for free, which was amazing. Great event as well. Not a lot of it wasn't sold out because of the fact that with the rescheduling it was such short notice, but everybody that did come, they were really good shooters and they all were able to achieve their rifleman patch. So it was great. It was good. Now, the other thing that I actually did was on Sunday, I picked up my new pistol as well. It came in the mail. So thank you, Adriel. And it was amazing.
No problem.
It's beautiful. It has a great trigger on it. And I got to play with the, I did get to play with the iTarget as well with it. So that was lots of fun. I didn't get to
the cool with that thing with that is that you can use the double action, so you can just keep hitting it if you want to, right? Especially if you want to practice that first trigger pull on double action.
Yep, exactly. So it's a really nice gun. I haven't got a chance to take it to the range yet, but I'm hoping probably within the next week or so. I have to go during the weekdays because all of our weekends are full with Maple Seed. Yeah, I know. But I love Maple Seed too. It's fun. I get to, as I said, I got to shoot with an amazing little shooter on the weekend too. So, yeah. What else? Oh, Trevor. I wanted to thank Trevor as well because my holster came in a couple of days ago as well. So now I have not only a pistol, I have a holster that goes with it. So
you got your holster before I got mine. I've had my Shadow 2 for like a month, and I still don't have I don't have a holster for it. I haven't actually shot it yet either. I could have just taken it to the range without a holster, but
yeah.
Yeah.
My question: Where are you getting the holster from?
I am getting one from Red Hill Tactical, but I might get another one from Highlander as well.
Highlander,
yeah. I had ordered the one from Red Hill before. They got like an 8-week turnaround time, which was the wrong move for me. I'm like super impatient. I should have went and bought a Blade Tech from somewhere and ordered the Kraken from Ryan. I made the wrong move and I ordered the one that takes a long time to get here.
Well,
I'm like it's the wrong move from me because I'm a really impatient guy.
And they have to make them, right? So they're making them as they're ordered. So
yeah, exactly.
Yours is made special just for you with love.
Yeah.
The other thing that I've been doing is I've been contacting businesses, retailers, different people as well about the charity shoot. I'm touching base with some of the sponsors of the show as well. So if I haven't, I will be soon. So we're also looking for donations or anything. So if you're interested, or even just individuals, we're going to talk about the charity shoot in a few minutes. But if you're interested in donating to help raise money for the cause this year, just send us an email at slamfireradio.com. slamfireradio@gmail.com.
There we go.
The Gmail. Yeah. Anyways, you can address it to me. I'm in charge of that apparently. Okay. What about you, Adriel? What did you do in guns this week?
I shot a 3-gun match.
Woohoo!
It was fun. Let's see. Okay, so we had 5 or 6 stages. Weather was gorgeous. It was 25, 28 all day. A little bit of wind, so it kept the mosquitoes off of us. Oh, can't beat it. Go through a lot of water in that heat, but it was dry, and once you're in the shade, it was fine. Let's see. What did I do? I adminned. So I set up the tablets and all that kind of stuff. It all ran awesome. Let's see. How did I shoot? I shot well on my shotgun. I tried like going a little bit fast on one of the stages, but it didn't hurt me that much. My rifle gave me some more issues. I've got that new trigger in it that it doesn't seem like the hammer's resetting. It's like it's following forward and it's getting caught like on a half cock kind of a thing, which in a match is not what you want it to do. So I might try it in a different lower. I think it might be that my lower's out of spec, and that's causing me problems. So I'm going to try that trigger in another lower, and if it works in another lower, I'm going to take that lower and sell it for a low price somewhere because I don't want to have a out of spec lower that is my competition gun, right?
Right.
And because that WK 180 is going to be coming in I don't know, weeks, months, something like that, and if it's reliable enough and accurate enough, I might run that for competition. I don't know. So we'll see. So anyways, so my AR was giving me hammer reset issues, which didn't actually hurt me that much on the stage. On the stage where I had like 2 bobbles with it, it cost me a few seconds. I still like got first in my division for that stage. But on the next stage, I asked, hey, can I swap out my AR? It's having problems. And they said, yes, go ahead. For as long as you're not switching it for something that's like an open gun or anything like that. So I switched it with my buddies, and on that stage, I had a real weird issue. So I shot. I think I got like 1 shot out of it or a mag out of it, and then I went to the next one. Did I get to my second mag? I may not have gotten to my second mag. I can't remember. It's all happened in a blur kind of a thing. But I loaded it. The round went in and I clicked and nothing happened. And I went to pull it out. Nothing happened. I dropped my magazine. I saw that I had a double feed. I pulled the one out. I go to pull the other one out and it came out and it sprayed powder everywhere. So when you extract a shell and it sprays powder everywhere, where's the bullet? It's in the barrel somewhere. So rather than continue to try to mess with that, I don't even, what's the remedial on a squib? That's probably something that gets you DQ'd. I threw it on safe and I dumped it and I went on to my other gun. So that very much cost me the match. That was about 20 seconds of remedial and about 40 seconds of penalties just from all the did not engages on there. But yeah, whatever. It's a local match, right? So
was it yours or was it your buddies?
It was my buddies.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Previous to that?
He was using it and it was running fine. It might have been my mags, it might have been the round, it might have been, this is all just factory ammo, so it's not, nothing too crazy, but yeah, weird. Yeah. So
I think he did it on purpose.
Just kidding. That would be the move. That would be the move, right? Break off a shell in there or something like that. Do something so that it caused an issue. Anyways, well, the match itself was a ton of fun. Lots of guys, lots of good shooters, lots of new people out as well, and the league is really growing. It's really incredible. So how
many did you have at this time?
42. We cap it at 40, and then I subscribe by 5 just to make sure that we're covered if we have any no-shows, kind of a thing.
Yep.
So we had 42 shooters, and the next match. Okay, we've got 2 skills and drills that are coming up. That's for like new people who maybe aren't confident with their equipment, or maybe want to just practice and learn more before they get into a real match.
Right.
We've got 2 of those coming up. Those are both capped at 20 people. But then after that, we've got our 2-day match in June. We've got a 2-day match, and that's our big match of the year, I guess you could say. And that's 70 people. And it's going to have some really good shooters from, we've got some from up north in Alberta. We've got some really good shooters coming from Saskatchewan and some from BC as well. So,
nice.
Yeah, that should be fun. We're just figuring out like camping and all that other kind of stuff right now for that.
Do you have corn?
And what's that?
Do you have corn?
Corn?
Just make sure you have corn.
Gotta make sure we got corn. I mean, the range is 45 minutes outside the city. I think I'm just going to camp. Like, even though I can drive to my house and sleep in my own bed, I think I'm going to camp out with the guys just so we can hang out and most importantly, so I can roll out of bed and be at the range in 10 minutes, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate waking up early. I'm not a morning person. That was a 3-gun match. Anything else worth mentioning? Glock ran fine. My pistol shooting was fine. Yeah, shotgun ran fine. Yeah, it was all good. We got in a couple of different things for our 2-day match. One of them being the target hit indicators that I think I talked about last week.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is what those look like. So for the people who are listening on the podcast, it's a target hit indicator that you Velcro to the back of your target, and it just exposes this clear rubber kind of a thing that they can get shot up. It's like one of those self-healing kind of things. And it's a really simple, keep it simple style target hit indicator that you'd put on a piece of steel out at 300 yards, 500 yards, that kind of thing. Trying to spot those hits really far out is quite difficult. You need a spotting scope. And even then, it's kind of like sometimes you blink and you miss the shot, right? Whereas with this guy, it's very clear when it hits on. When you've hit it, it blinks quite brightly, and we've got 6 of those. And in the package, they've got the Velcro strip that you put on the back of the metal. They've got another one of these rubber reflector things, so when this one gets all shot up, it's good to go. Actually, I was reading some more online. There was some guys who had just shot a PRS match where the target was hit 600 times in that day, and the rubber piece was hit twice.
Wow.
So it does do a good job of like staying out of the way. And when it's hit, you can really like hit these things quite a few times before they're unusable.
How much were they, and where do you get them?
They're 180 to 200. These ones I got from Western Metal. I think Amazon.ca has them right now. So yeah, I mean, if you've got a PRS shooter in your life and they shoot some steel at long range, this is not a bad idea. The battery life on these things is incredible. 1 year standby. So it's on standby right now. Yeah. It's got an accelerometer and a microphone in there. Accelerometers for the actual hit. and detecting the hit on steel. It's got a microphone to detect if the shot is a near miss, and you can turn that off. So from the factory, it doesn't actually have that miss indicator on, which is exactly what I wanted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't want a miss indicator. I want it.
No, that's what I was wondering.
Blink when it hits.
Don't
do nothing
blink
if it misses. yeah. I need simple.
What type of batteries does it take? Like
AA.
Really?
A couple. It's got some lithium ones that it comes with. Those probably last quite a bit longer.
Yeah.
But they're like non-rechargeable. They're just like use them once kind of thing. So good quality batteries, 1 year standby, or 4,000 hit indications. Like crazy battery life on these things.
Good weekend.
Yeah, a good weekend. That's a crazy weekend for each target, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like for a club, you'd probably just get like some Duracells or something like that, swap them in every 2 matches or something like that. Like there's not even any point in getting into this thing and disabling the hit indication because of the battery. Like it's so efficient with power, which is kind of cool. It is weatherproof, so you can leave this thing out in the rain or whatever. It's got 2 bases, so you can basically set up a whole whack of targets, and then this guy just like boop, we'll go put it on a different target if you want to. Yeah, very cool. Yep. If you're interested in that, I've got a video on my YouTube channel that talks about it in a little bit more in depth, but really cool. I think I might I wish I had thought about it before. I should have bought another one for myself, because I've got a spot at my parents' farm where I've got 500 yards. And you can hear the hits if you hit it with something like substantial, like a 308.
Yep.
But shooting a 223 or a 7.62 by 39 or something like that on it, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to hear that hit out at 500 yards, and it's a big piece of steel, so it does not move when you whack it. So I should have got one for myself. Maybe I'll still order one.
You're gonna go as soon as we're done tonight. You're gonna go and order it, aren't you?
Maybe. Yeah. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot these ones first. We'll take them out to the club and make sure that they work excellent, and then I'll buy one.
Yeah, you're going to go test first.
Yeah, these are supposed to be really good though. Everything I've read and seen. The other alternative to these is you get like a little sending unit that you put to the back of the target, and then you run a wire or Bluetooth or wireless or something like that to a remote flash unit. Some of those are waterproof. Some of them aren't very weatherproof. And the remote flashes kill your batteries quite a bit quicker than the LEDs.
Yeah.
Because think about like a camera flash. Like how many times is it going to flash before you need to recharge your batteries? Not that many. Because you need a powerful strobe that goes down range. Yeah. This is quite powerful, but it's LEDs, so it's very very good on the batteries. Yeah.
No, it's really cool. So how many did you get again? You got 6?
We got 6 of them, which is quite a few. But our range is thinking about doing some more long range style competitions, and this is perfect for that kind of thing. If you're going to run PRS, like trying to spot hits out at range with a spotting scope is for suckers. I mean, you just get some of these things here. You ensure that they're aimed correctly back at the shooter or the RO. And it's very easy to see that flash back, that indication that you've made that hit. So definitely the way to rock and roll. And I mean, with some of those other flash kits as well, if you want to like daisy chain up a bunch of them, have a bunch of different sensors on metal plates, they do have range limitations on how far away they can be from the flash unit. This doesn't, because it's just one unit. So again, it's along that keep it simple philosophy. So very easy to.
Good for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying. It's good for us.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what you guys are doing for the CRPS matches where you guys are shooting steel like way out there with 22s, because I imagine that's pretty hard to hear, right?
You can still hear it, but so Kevin was able to actually set up something. It's an LED light.
He might have made. Did he make something?
Yeah, he made a few of them. He made, I think, 6 of them for.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys who DIY that kind of stuff as well. Because I mean, the actual technology isn't that crazy. Yeah, it's more the packaging, the fixing it to the target, do you make it bulletproof, or do you just do a sensor and a sending unit, and then do you monkey around with Bluetooth? I saw that one of them was using Bluetooth, and I thought, wow. like Bluetooth, like normally consumer level Bluetooth frustrates the heck out of me trying to make it work. I couldn't imagine trying to get some sort of like hardware solution going and trying to make that work.
Yeah, no Bluetooth.
Yeah, but and I mean the other thing is weatherproofing, right? Because when you make a solution by yourself, trying to make something weatherproof and so you can still quickly get in there and change the batteries can be, a little bit tough. But
my Tupperware went missing.
Yeah, that would do it, right? Tupperware container for covering.
Anyways.
Yeah, no, those solutions work really well. Did Kevin's did he use like a camera flash kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's an LED light, so he went. Yep. So it's just basic, and from 300 you can see it. It's good.
Awesome.
In a snowstorm.
Yeah. That's important, right?
Yeah, we tried it.
Being able to see it in a snowstorm or in the rain or something like that. Yeah. So. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I mean these things are really neat. I'm not going to be able to test them because I think there's some guys going out to the range on Friday and I'm busy then, but should be good. Should be good. I found out why you can't run magnets on these things.
Why?
Because they'll slowly jiggle down. Even if you get like really crazy great magnets, the steel will actually wave and bend. If you look at steel in slow motion when it's shot, so it kind of wobbles a little bit, and the target will slowly go down if you're using magnets and something heavy. Like this isn't heavy, but it's heavy enough to where it would move. So I guess they tried them and they found out they don't work that great, and that's why they went with the Velcro, because Velcro will hold on and will handle the vibration quite a bit better than a magnet will.
Yeah. No, we outfitted ours with magnets. Seemed to be working fine. Yeah.
You guys are just using a small sensor though on the back, right?
Just a small one, so it doesn't weigh that much.
Yeah. So your small sensor is probably like lightweight, and that makes it so you can just run it on. Whereas this is designed to like that's the whole unit right there. It might take a shot as well, so you might want to use something else. I mean, it does come with a couple of Velcro strips, so it's easy enough to like outfit a whole bunch of different targets and then swap.
Velcro you.
What's that?
Or you can Velcro you.
Or you can Velcro you, yeah. And then you can say like, I'm a hit.
That's what you need. More light.
Ooh, corny dad jokes.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for me.
All right.
All right. Why don't we head on to the events? Can you take this Meaford Long Range Steel Challenge one?
Sure. And so what had happened was Ryan McLean, and it is McLean. I kept mixing him up with Ryan McLeod. I don't know why, because I'm dyslexic. That's why. So Ryan McLean, he sent us a request to actually post this. So it is the 2018 Meaford Long Range Steel Challenge. It's sponsored by Cadex Defense. And it's taking place on September 7th to the 9th. The spots are filling up fast. If you want to go and register, or if you want more info, you can Google the match, or you can go to their Facebook page. So it's facebook.com/MLRSC.
Or just Google it.
Or just Google it. Just why don't you go Google it? And he's also looking for ROs in that as well. So if you are interested and you're interested in working the event, and which would be really cool because there's some really good shooters there and you can get some great information from them on your own shooting. So if you're interested, go and sign up for that as well. So either go shoot it, go RO it. It'll be fun times.
Cool.
I'm actually going to be signing up to help with the event.
Awesome.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's get into some 3-gun action here. Lakeland 3-gun will have an event on May 19th. That'll be at the Cold Lake Fish and Game Range. BTSA will be running their Victoria Day 3-gun special on May 21st at the BTSA. Northwest 3-gun will be running their event May 26th. Chaz will be running a zombie shoot, which is our open house, come for burgers and a pop and try all of our different leagues kind of thing on May the 26th. We've got pricing up on our Facebook page for that, as well as on GOC, and I will update CGN very quickly here.
Okay.
Mighty Peace has a tentative 3-gun match on May the 26th. BTSA is starting up their Monday night league nights on May 28th. And PFI Canada Vancouver Island 3-gun Nation will be running their match June 2nd. Crumlin 2018. So if you're out in Ontario, there's a match on June 3rd at the Crumlin Sportsmen's Association. BTSA will be running again their Monday night action shoots on June 4th. And it looks like Mighty Peace 3-Gun will be running an event on June the 9th. So that'll be all of your 3-gun action over the next month and a half here. Lots of it. And lots of it in Alberta and BC and Saskatchewan. Actually, most of the ones that I just mentioned there in Alberta. It seems like it's kind of like
BC's
sorry, go ahead.
A lot too. So BC does have a lot as well. I know that Brent sent us a bunch of those. So, but you're absolutely right. It is all Alberta, Saskatchewan, and BC. Not so much anything out east.
You guys got to start up some clubs.
I know.
Get some 3-gun clubs going up there. Some 3-gun leagues.
Yep.
All right, why don't we head on to the news? I'll take this first one here. This is something on the CBC. After mistakenly letting people buy prohibited guns, RCMP tells owners to give them up. Error allowed purchase of 114 prohibited handguns went undetected for 12 years. Oops. So, and you know what? This oops is like not a big deal. I don't even think they should have like just mentioned anything. So they gave a bunch of people some 12.7 classifications, and they were supposed to give them 12.6 or the other way around. Where does it go? Yada, yada, yada. All the people affected by the RCMP's licensing error held a category of license called 12.7, which is intended to allow family members to inherit older weapons such as service pistols, wartime captures, and that kind of thing. But they were issued 12.6 prohibited license, which lets them keep the handguns that they own or were grandfathered down to them, as well as to buy or sell ones in the same category. This is not a big deal. Like 1,300 of these licenses were accidentally given out. And it sounds like, 100 or so pistols were bought and no crimes were committed. And who cares? They should have just let what was the risk here?
Guns.
Yeah, they gave 1,000 people the right to buy these uber scary, uber prohibited guns. And what happened? Probably a couple of people were responsible for buying the majority of these 114 handguns, and absolutely nothing of consequence occurred.
No, nothing.
Yeah, just a paper crime that resulted in paper criminals and nothing really an issue. So all these people will have to now turn around and sell their prohibs to people who have real 12.6s and get them off their hands, because otherwise they'll have to destroy them.
My question is, are they going to have to... so they're going to sell, right, the 100 firearms that they bought, correct?
They are required to legally dispose of them in whatever way they want to. If they're smart, they'll sell them.
Right. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So the ones that actually got issued the wrong classification, they'll get switched to the right classification. They'll still be able to have the inherited firearm, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So reality is it's only the 100, which is still 100 that people, anyways. They should just let them keep them.
Yeah, I mean, what's the like
what
all these in terms of confiscation? All of these guns will eventually be confiscated. There is no way to get out of confiscation of these guns. No. Everything is going to the government after all these prohib licenses are gone. They're not issuing new ones, except for they are for the CZ 858s, but that's only for 858s and Swiss Arms guys, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. This I think this just underlines like 1,000 people had the wrong licensing and nothing happened. Nothing happened. Turns out gun owners, that when you have to background check them every day, and these people who apply for all this crazy licensing when they could buy one illegally, turns out the people who do it legally are law-abiding citizens. Weird.
Huh. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep going here. North Silva has Norinco CQA M4 Commandos that they've brought in. So these are the commando style AR-15s. They have an iron sight setup, and they're nice and short.
Yeah, they are.
And they're Norincos. So
good price on them too. It's a good price. Come on,
$6.99.
That's not bad price.
$15 for a Norinco. It's not bad for a shorty like this. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But
Would you buy one?
Norinco's definitely getting some competition from the U.S. manufacturers because you can get a U.S. AR-15 for right around 650 right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks nice.
The next one here is kind of neat. I haven't seen these before. I didn't know that that this was a thing, but Barrett has these Fieldcraft lightweight rifles. So these are definitely premium hunting rifles.
Yeah.
They're quite expensive, but they're carbon fiber stock, really accurate, really lightweight. So everything's made of stainless steel. And let's get down crisp.
Triggers.
Yeah, Timney triggers. All the kit and caboodle. These things are right around $2,200, so they're not the cheapest rifles you can get out there, but extremely lightweight and pretty cool. You can get them in 6.5 Creedmoor 308 or 30-06 Springfield from Plain Sight Solutions.
Yeah, nice.
They're nice. They're nice looking rifles. I mean, when you see the difference between $1,000 hunting rifle and a $2,000 hunting rifle, usually it's those kind of things. Carbon fiber stock, nice and lightweight. The action feels amazing, and the accuracy is usually pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to take this next one?
So Lockhart Tactical, the underbarrel 12 gauge shotgun. So they're releasing it. So production will be finished on these in 1 to 2 business days. They posted this on the 4th, so it should be out by now.
Yeah. These are their UBS 12s. Yeah.
Yeah, UBS 12s. The buttstock will be machined at a later date, they said. What else?
Yeah, it's just a mount so that you can put an 870 on your AR-15. It's the Master Key mounts are quite expensive, and this is an alternative to those. It kind of cups on the back of the 870 and has a rail that mounts on as well. So it's a nice solid way of mounting an 870 on an AR-15, just in case you want like an 18-pound AR-15.
Yes. They said
that looks really cool.
Yeah, I was looking at the picture. They also said that it would mount on any of the clones as well, so which is good.
There you go. Yep.
Yep. All right, what's the next one?
The next one was actually announced on our show first. This is the WK308, but it's starting to get some more detail around it. So this is Wolverine Supplies working with Kodiak Defense, and they have a mock-up of their WK utility rifle is what they're calling it. This is the 308 Big Brother version of the WK180C. And it looks like they changed the design. So it looks like they took a lot of the 180B upper, but they actually changed the lower quite a bit because on the original, the lower was just a little bit boxy and bulky because of the original design. But it looks like they really cleaned up the lower on this one because it's a lot sleeker. And if you are following along, I'll show you what that looks like. Something like that.
Yep.
So, yeah, very nice. It looks right at the back here is the part I'm talking about. This got really cleaned up back here. So very cool. And will be like really good competition for the non-restricted 308s out there.
All right. So for those of you who are not watching but are listening, nice back end, nice and
it's got a nice back end on it.
Yeah,
nice tight
nice tight back end. It doesn't have any bulk or anything. You can get a nice pistol, firm grip on the pistol grip.
Yeah, I like. To be honest, I don't really care, but like about what the back end looks like. It's nice that they trimmed up this one, but like I still think that the 180 platform as they've been using it and extending it is really cool. Now I want one in 6.5 Creedmoor because one in 6.5 Creedmoor would be beautiful.
Of course.
Yep. This next one here is Magdump or Spectre Ballistics. They had, and I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. They had some SKSs they brought in for the low price of $214.
Yeah.
And they just brought some more in. So these are the Norinco, the Chinese versions, and they're in. So if you want to get an SKS for $215, Norinco one, now's your chance to do it. And if you're thinking about it, you probably should, just because $215 is a pretty decent price for those. I remember buying my first SKS geez,
Yeah.
15 years ago, and it was 175. So I mean, the prices on these things, like
It's gone up a whole $50.
you think about inflation in that time period, it's probably actually cheaper these days.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely take
Back
a
in
peek.
stock.
Back in stock and
And
pretty inexpensive.
yeah,
Yep.
$215. Yep. Wild West.
They got a new website.
Yay.
Their old one wasn't that bad. Like in the grand scheme of like gun shops, it
It
wasn't
was.
that bad.
It wasn't the best and it wasn't the worst, but this one looks pretty good actually.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, again, I didn't mind the old one, but the new one's nice too.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And finally, the Calgary Shooting Center is now the Canadian distributor for Phoenix pistols. So they've got a bunch of different kinds that they look like they're CZ75 variants.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. And they have a couple of different kinds. They have like a full steel one. They have an aluminum one. They have a polymer lowered one. So a couple of different kinds of those. And
Do you know anybody who shot one?
No, I thought actually it was the Sphinx when I first saw that they were carrying them, but then I went and looked at them and I'm like, oh, this isn't the Sphinx. This is something else entirely.
Yep.
Yeah. So no, I don't.
Apparently they come with spiders too. There's a picture of them with spiders.
They come with spiders in the box. You gotta like grab that gun out of there. You gotta fight the spiders off.
Yeah, that's new. Spiders and clowns.
That is a new packaging option. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of that before for guns. But they're always like innovating over there. So yeah, the ones that come with Black Widow spiders would be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Target practice. Hey.
You got to get one of those assault guns that fire salt out of them, and and then use that guy, right? But yeah, why don't we stop talking about shooting spiders and that kind of thing and get on to our main topic.
Talk about guns.
Talk about guns. I wanted to talk about this one in particular. This is kind of interesting. There are a whole bunch of non-restricted semi-autos that are coming in this summer, and a whole whack of them. Like, which ones have you heard of?
The WK180C, the SLR, obviously. We're going to talk about that a little bit because there's been some updates on that. The BCL 102. And yeah, there's some new ones coming out as well that we actually have been hinted at, but we're not really allowed to talk about. So
yeah, a lot of really cool ones. I mean, one of the things I wanted to do today was just talk about the availability of these rifles, where they're at, kind of thing in their life cycle. Potentially, like what the pros and cons of them, the cost range that we're looking at. Because one of the interesting things I was looking, I've got like a top 10 non-restricted black rifles in Canada article on my website that kind of has like some of the cooler rifles out there. And these rifles are really cool, and they're not nearly as spendy as these other ones. So I've got rifles like the Tavor TAR 21, for example. $2,500. Accuracy, meh. Can use it in competition? Technically, yes, but you won't win. We've got the Norinco Type 97, same deal. You're definitely not going to win any competitions with that. The BCL 102, which you may be able to win some competitions with that, especially if you're doing what Jerry from Mystic Precision has done there. And I think he put an aftermarket barrel on his, and he was getting some crazy good accuracy with 6.5 Creedmoor in his. There's the Remington XCR, which is more of a military rifle. Again, some guys get good accuracy out of them. Some of them were like, needing quite a bit of tuning to get there. Let's see here. We had the FAME SG 542, which is a 308. Again, battle rifle, not really meant for competition, not really like accuracy focused. A lot of these rifles were of military heritage, and therefore the accuracy was mil spec.
Okay.
Yeah, and like mil spec or okay is usually not fantastic, right? No. Some of the other ones that you used to be able to get to, like the Benelli MR1 was kind of neat. The BNT APC 223 was really cool, but pretty expensive. The ATRS had the Modern Hunter and Modern Varminter, which were both great guns, but the price point was quite high on those.
Yep.
And I think that is it.
Those are your top 10?
AR-180B was in there, but I mean, like that, like not in ready supply, and not like you can just buy one new off the shelf. It used to be you could buy those for like under $1,000 off the shelf. But you know, the Armalite hasn't been making them for the longest time. Yep. I guess the Troy PAR might be in there, but that's not semi-auto. That's a pump action now. So,
yeah.
So that's what we had. Now let's talk about like what has recently come in, fairly recently, or has been introduced, or is in design, or in production right now.
Before we do, why do you think there are so many that are just being released? Are about to be released?
Oh man, that's a really good question.
I thought I'd ask.
Why now? Why now? Hey, is it timing? Is it that they're starting to see the opportunity? I mean, most of these other guns were guns before. They weren't uniquely created for the Canadian market, and I think what you're seeing with these is all but one of them was uniquely created for the Canadian market. And the reason is, if you want to get a rifle off the shelf that's like an AR-15, it's an AR-15, and in the States it's an AR-15, and all their production effort has gone into the AR-15, and in Canada it's a restricted gun. So if you wanted something like that, you would get that, and that's what you get. And there wasn't really a lot of options that would be similar to that, other than the AR-180B. But the AR-180B, as it is from Armalite, has a plastic lower. The hinge at the front there is something that can crack or break. The rail on the top was a $100 part that you had to get off of Stormworks, and it didn't come with a fore-end or any of the other cool stuff you can get for an AR-15 these days. So it was kind of limited as a platform, and that's all changing.
Yeah, it is. Pretty much, it's like Lego now.
Yeah, it's all changing. Yeah. Well, do you want to like go through these kind of like one by one and kind of talk to the approximate price point that they're coming in at, and the philosophy of each of them?
Sure.
Okay, so the first one, do you want to start with the WK-180C?
Okay, so why don't you start with the WK-180C then?
I got it on pre-order. I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I got to get this thing. Okay, WK-180C is an AR-180B with an aluminum lower rather than a plastic lower. An upper that is quite different. It's a machined aluminum rather than folded steel. It's got a fore-end that can be changed out. The fore-end that they're actually manufacturing with it, they just released a photo of that a couple days ago on the rifle. It's actually pretty nice. It's an M-LOK fore-end, which is the way that most AR-15s are going these days, is with M-LOK to be kind of flexible. It's got a little like window where you could get to the gas system, so you could remove that and clean it and whatnot. Let me think of what else it's using. AR trigger parts, a charging handle that goes to the left or the right. The 180B does not have like a bolt release or anything like that. Just has a charging handle on the right hand side. This one you can swap it. AR grip rather than the 180B, which the grip is actually all part of the lower. So if you break the pistol grip, you're kind of hooped. You got to do some sort of like MacGyvering to fix it rather than buy any of the AR-15 grips out there. And then the 180B also takes AR buttstocks. So all the operating mechanism of a 180, and then the rest of it is all using very standard off-the-shelf AR-15 parts, which is great because the availability of those is really good right now.
Right. So what's the difference between that and the next one that we have, the Nodak 180?
The Nodak 180 is based on the Spud lower.
Right.
So the Spud lower is an aluminum lower for the 180.
Right.
And then it's got an RWA upper. So RWA is a company out of Canada here that's been making a lot of really cool parts for the AR-180B, whether they be replacement parts for some of the things that might break or enhancement parts. The Nodak 180 uses quite a bit of a different receiver. They've opted for one that has like side panels that you screw in. in order to get right ejection or left ejection or charging handle on one side or completely closed off on the other side. Whereas the WK180 has slots on both sides for the charging handle and ejects on the right only.
Okay.
The Nodak also has an option for a bolt release that's kind of like a little hockey stick toggle on the left-hand side, which is really cool. And it uses quite a different barrel pinching trunnion kind of a thing. That's quite a bit of a different approach than the 180C, which just uses a standard AR style connection. So that's how those two are differing. The price is also quite different. The WK180C is right around $1,000 Canadian, whereas a Nodak 180, I believe the whole rifle was $1,700 US.
Yes.
So the price is quite a bit higher on it.
Yeah. A little bit more.
Yep.
Okay. So you do have the 180C on order, the Nodak 180.
The WK is $1,000. I was like, yeah, totally. Yeah,
all right.
I got a soft spot in my heart for rifles that are at a really nice price point.
And never mind. Then you sell them to your co-hosts. Not just rifles.
That pistols. I
do. Yeah, he knows. All right. The SLR. There has been a recent update with this, right?
Yeah, I mean, like this, it's pretty standard whenever you're in design and production of a new firearm that there can be delays because of a variety of reasons. So the SLR, I think they're looking at a June release right now.
Yep.
So June release. This is not an AR. This is uses a T slot rather than the 2-pin idea with an AR-15. So it is a different way of connecting the upper and lower. But everything else you can put in this thing is an AR. So they're selling the upper and lower for $1,000, and then everything else is like you put it on yourself. And you use AR parts, and you're good to go. It's not considered an AR-15; it's considered an SLR, and you get all the goodness of an AR-15. So you get the direct impingement. You don't get piston driven. You get all the stuff that you get on an AR-15. So there's some big pros to that. One of them being just like you're using all the parts of an AR-15, so you get to just stay with that standard, which is kind of nice. The cost will be a little bit higher because you're paying $1,000 for the upper and lower receiver. But then after that, everything else is like you build it to the spec you want to. If you wanted to, you could go buy a cheap AR, pull all the parts on, put all the parts in this guy, and call it a day. Or you can configure everything to spec according to what you want.
What you want, right?
Yeah.
Switch out the parts.
Yeah, a lot of Canadian manufacturers and Canadian distributors have been bringing in 18.6-inch and 20-inch barrels for this and for the WK and for all these other guns that are coming out. So, which is really cool because some of them are really low-priced options for barrels, and some of them are really nice match-grade barrels that you'd be able to use for hunting or something like that, right?
Right. Yep, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So this SLR, like if you want an AR-15 analog, there's your that's the guy to go for.
Right.
The price will be higher. It's $1,000 just for the upper and lower receiver. The WK180C is $1,000 for the entire rifle. But you won't be able to replace some things with some of the AR parts. Now, the SLR also uses a trigger box. So you won't be able to use one of the drop-in trigger packs. You'll need to use one of the componentized ones. So think of your Geisley triggers and that kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Modern Sporter.
The Modern Sporter is ATRS. Now they're still waiting for an FRT. They're making, this is not their Modern Varminter, but it'll be something similar to that. You would expect similar features to the SLR, I guess, with this one. They're planning for a low production run. I think they're saying like 180 over the next few months, kind of a thing.
Really?
So they're not going to be cranking these things out. I know with the WK180C, they've got whatever, like 2,000 that they're going to be building over the, like whatever Kodiak thought they were going to be doing, like taking vacation or whatever. No, you're making 180s until we have enough for Canada. but ATRS will be making a smaller run. I believe you needed to get into on the pre-order with them. They had like a if you're interested, let us know kind of thing, and they already have a few hundred people on that. So they're probably going to be selling to those guys. But that'll be another non-restricted rifle that you see out there, and that one should have mostly AR-15 parts compatibility as well.
So you can switch things out.
Yeah. I mean, when you think whenever I say AR-15, really just think modern sporting rifle, because AR-15 is a platform of interchangeable parts. It's not a gun. You don't go buy an AR-15 off the shelf. You buy a 16-inch Spikes Tactical off the shelf. You go buy a 10-inch Nork Commando off the shelf. You go buy a 20-inch RRA with a 20-inch heavy stainless barrel for varminting. These are all very, very different rifles. The only commonality of them is the parts interchangeability. Right. So it's become kind of like an open source platform rather than a rifle of any sort.
Okay, what about the BCL 102? You have down here.
Yeah, so we've had those in Canada, and they've been selling those in Canada. Those are still pretty back ordered. There's been some dealers who have started to say like, hey, we've got one or two on the shelf kind of a thing. But for the most part, these have been going out the door just as fast as they can make them. This is a non-restricted 308. I believe it uses the DPMS pattern for most of their parts, but like anything with these, check with the manufacturer. I like the price point of this one. The BCL 102 is 1,600.
Yeah, around there.
Around there, 1,600 for the full rifle. 308 semi-auto. That mags are really available, and all that jazz. They are starting to sell just the receivers, so if you wanted to build your own, that is an option as well. If you wanted something that was similar to an AR-10, again, also non-restricted as long as you make sure that you get one with a barrel that's long enough.
Yeah, and I do know you're absolutely right. They sell them out before they actually receive them as well. So I know that people going out to SFRC, Ryan keeps talking about the fact that he can't keep them in stock. Usually by the time they get in, they're already going out the door. They just actually receive them and they're being sent out the door.
I think that's like they put them out there at a competitive price.
Yeah.
And therefore they're selling a lot of them. I mean, we had non-restricted semi-auto rifles before in Canada, but the price points were quite high.
Yeah.
And now that we're starting to see some right around that $1,500, $1,000 mark, these manufacturers are selling thousands of these things.
Yeah. Canada, we want them here because of the fact that we have so many rifles that are restricted. So we want to
these make for really good plinking rifles. They make for really good hunting rifles. And they make and some guys will say like, what do you need an AR-15 for? No one's hunting rhinos with that or something. I was like, no, I would hunt coyotes with an AR-15. If I had a nice semi-auto 223 that was MOA accurate, heck yeah, I would hunt coyotes with that. Yeah, because I've had it before where I call coyotes and 2 or 3 of them come in. Now with a bolt action rifle, I'm going to shoot one of those coyotes and the other one's
gone.
Yeah. By the time I reload and get back on target, and they move pretty quick. But with an AR-15 or something similar to that, with that kind of accuracy, I might be able to connect on that second one or third one for that matter. There's another one here that I had listed off that's starting to come into the country. This is the M17S. This is based off the I believe the Armalite or Bushmaster. One of those guys made an AR-15 that was a bullpup one. And K&S Arms, one of those two, started to make a really cool extruded aluminum receiver for them.
Right.
That was really nice, and this is what Iron Guns has been bringing in, and they're a really cool rifle.
Yeah, they are nice little pup. It's K&M, by the way.
K&M, there we go.
K&M.
Yeah. Really cool rifle. It uses some of the some like AR-180B style parts in it, but it's bullpup. It's compact. It's really cool. and the accuracy on it is supposed to be really good, and the triggers are supposed to be pretty good in them too. Because again, this is kind of like a worked on aftermarket rifle. It's kind of like Shelby making a Ford Mustang, right? It's just a little bit better than the original in a lot of different ways.
Right. Although, yeah, still want the Shelby.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the M17S is really cool. Now price point is right around, I think these are 2,000 American. M17S Iron guns. This is the Canadian version, so it's got a little bit of longer barrel. Yeah, 1,800 US is the cost on these. So they're a little bit more, but they're very cool rifles. And let's see here, 4-pound adjustable trigger. That's excellent for a bullpup. And the overall length is nice and short. So if you wanted something that was a little bit more compact, very cool rifle. AR-180 beat style bolt carrier with a 3-lug triangular bolt. Interesting. A couple QD sling adapters.
You like bullpups, don't you?
Oh, do I? For hunting, absolutely. If I could have a bullpup rifle with a nice scope on it that was really accurate, absolutely, because they sling so nicely. You can sling one on your front cross body, and it won't get in the way, and it won't you won't be hitting your arms or anything like that on it. So as a slung rifle, they're so nice. Now for a competition rifle, not so much, because you're changing your magazine up by your armpit where you can't see it.
Yeah.
And it's just not as fast that way.
It's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable, and the sight over bore usually isn't as good as what you get with an AR-15. So it's a little bit more difficult to shoot some of the stages with them. But yeah, otherwise, I do like bullpups. They're really cool. The next one here is the Keltec RDB. Have you seen one of these before?
I haven't. No, I haven't seen one in person. I've seen one in front of me right now.
There we go.
No, I haven't seen one in person. Have you seen one in person?
No, I haven't seen one yet. These are really cool. And the price point on these is $1,500. So a little bit more inexpensive for a bullpup rifle, semi-auto, and these just started coming in. So a bunch of different manufacturers ran a pre-order on these, and those all sold out. And now these are starting to come into the country. So you can start seeing these Keltec RDBs.
Yeah. So they have the downward ejection. So basically right into your armpit.
If you like keeping your brass and you like reloading your brass,
right at your feet.
Fantastic. Yeah. Or if you're prone, it's like right there kind of a thing. Yeah. I've heard if you're running like load bearing gear or like anything with big pockets on the front, you might end up filling them with brass, which is kind of interesting. Being a downward ejecting bullpup rifle, your remedial drills to fix any problems that you might have might be a little bit weird, because you're trying to fix something that's like way up inside there. So it might be hard to resolve a jam of some kind, but they're pretty cool.
Yeah, they are pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you get one, let me know and I will help you shoot it. Okay.
Yeah, they're interesting rifles. Yeah.
It's Keltec.
All right. But it's Keltec. Yeah, it's Keltec. It's Keltec design. Very cool design. Just, be nice if they used different materials when they make them.
Right.
Yeah. And finally, the utility rifle. This is the name for the WK308. So the Kodiak and Wolverine rifle that's based on the 180. We talked about a little bit earlier here. It's got a little bit of a trim design, and they flat out said this is like just ideation right now, because right now they're working on selling and making the 223 version first.
Right. Yep.
But it'll be a cool 308 when it comes out. I was just going
to say, but it'll be a cool 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of, so it's one of the interesting things about that one, because it's piston and it's that dual spring recoil system rather than the tube like the BCL or any of the Air 10 variants.
Yep.
You can run a folder on it, and it might be more reliable. I mean, we're not in a war zone. We can all clean our guns after we use them. But the piston driven rifles should be more reliable over a longer period without having to clean them than some of the direct injection ones, like the AR-15 style, right?
Yep.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, it really depends. I mean, these guns all need oil to run, and you generally need to clean some of them some of the time, right?
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Sometime.
I mean, that's like a lot of people talk about when they're releasing the WK-180C. People were like, "Oh, we need a dust cover on there." It's like, are you shooting in a desert or something like that? I mean, you go like even in my shooting competitions where it's it's windy, you can get stuff in there. Like I go do my shooting competition, I get home and you just clean the rifle and then it's fine. We don't like if I was going to go into the desert of Iraq. I'd probably want a dust cover on my rifle because I want to, I'd be hiking around with it for days on end, and I don't want dust getting in there and stopping it up. But here in Canada, like as a consumer, like a end consumer kind of a thing, I don't feel the need for that kind of stuff.
Well, I've been to some ranges where it's been pretty sandy, pretty dusty. Last
Yeah,
weekend,
yeah, so have
actually.
I. Like Milo's pretty gravelly and pretty sandy too, but I would have no problems shooting there for a day without
Without the
dust
dust
cover.
cover, but they look
Yeah,
cool.
they do look cool, and you can get cool ones that say things on them.
Yeah,
Like it says Plan A when it's closed, and when it opens up, it says Plan B.
yeah. It's
I
it's
guess that's you
some
know
of it's
what
how you
now
look.
you have to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
gotta go
just
get
like
one now.
yeah, yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like the Glock plate that you put at the back there. You have to get one because you have to engrave it and personalize it.
Right. Do you have one?
A Glock?
The back plate for your Glock. Oh, yeah,
It's just regular. I'm
just
a
regular. I don't
very like
plain.
other than painting my guns, so I can find them on the rack. Everything else is pragmatic on them. It's all stuff that I do for shooting. That's why like
You
my
three
3-gun shotgun looks nasty. Like the loading port on it is like, oh my god, that's not polished whatsoever because polishing does nothing to the overall performance of it. So why do I care about doing that final polish? I could put 2 hours into polishing the loading port and make it sparkly, but I don't care.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, I was just gonna say, but you do make some really cool 3D parts that you throw on the rifles.
Yeah,
Yeah, you do.
for function,
Yeah. No, they're not for fun.
Oh wait,
Some of
no.
them.
Yeah, well, I know the one you're thinking of. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Interesting. But you
So
do, yeah, every once in a while, just throw something. The I know Trevor has the backplate for his Glock. I think Matthew does as well. So we both you and I don't have one, so we'll have to get one. All the cool kids have it. We're not cool kids, apparently.
I mean, if I used it in a competition, maybe I'd epoxy on some sand to it or some of that the silicon carbide or something like that.
Sprinkles.
Yeah, make it all glittery and stuff. But
sprinkle.
if it's not functional, I don't know if I care.
Oh, come on, sure you do. Give me a
No,
sandwich. Yeah, right on
no.
it. I want a sandwich. I don't
Even
know.
even the silicon carbide job I did on my Glock was like max 2 hours. It was a 2-hour job. If I really wanted to make it nice, I should have put like 4 hours into it, but I don't care. I used right angles on everything. If I took the time on it, I would have made it like all swoopy and angly and artistic and maybe symmetrical. Maybe symmetrical.
It's a Glock.
It's a competition Glock. It's made to
Yeah.
be shot. I'm going to beat the heck out of it, and I don't care what it looks like. I care that it functions reliably, and it's got a super grippy grip on it, and it's got that in spades.
Right. I think it actually looks pretty cool. So
it's attention seeking on the range. People are like, there's the glitter Glock.
the glitter Glock. You should have done
Yeah.
it in some like turquoise or something.
Oh, I've got this green stuff here. This is a green silicon carbide that I got from China, which apparently they use more coke in it or something. I don't know. And
Of course.
yeah, I don't know. It's green. So I tried that on my shotgun because it like the forend need a little bit of grit, so I used that stuff. And I don't really like the green. I don't think I'd do that again. I'd probably use the regular black stuff again, even though it's like much more coarse and it's like holding on to gravel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Let's check our YouTube version just to see if there's any listener. Sorry, were there any other rifles that you could think of that are coming out in the summer or spring here?
No, I do know that there's a couple that are coming out, but we're not really allowed talking about them. So.
TBD.
I know,
To be
eh?
announced. To be announced. TBA. There we go.
So we're hoping to try and get some information on that soon, or have somebody on if they never get back to us. All right.
Cool.
So why don't we do YouTube listener feedback? Because I don't have it.
Let's see.
Okay,
I got it up.
Okay.
Yeah. Craig May is listening to us on the
Hey,
road.
Craig.
He says that Kev's lights worked great.
Yep.
Mr. Mac Michael says, love your show. Angel's the best. He wants a 12.6. So does everyone. He wants a 12 everything. Yep. Mm-hmm. Should have bought my CZ858 then. LOL. Yeah, an 858 would make it easier to get one of the versions of the 12, but all that's going to give you is the ability to buy more 858s, and then
yes. Then
yeah.
what? Nothing.
Yeah. What do you do with your Prohib 12 like 858? You can't take it out to shoot anything unless maybe to the range. Maybe if they let you.
I don't know if are they going to let us?
I don't know. It's all like
I don't know.
TBA.
Yeah. Okay. Any other feedback?
No, that's it for YouTube.
All right, let's go to listener.
Yeah. Listener feedback is sponsored by Highlander Tactical. Go to highlandertactical.com to check out their great supply both inside and outside of the waistband holsters today. Use the promo code SLAMFIRE at checkout to save 10% on your order.
Perfect. Awesome.
The first one we have is from Ian. He says, hey guys, just thought I'd let you know the SFR patch and sticker came in after I sent you the Nasty Gram reminder. I'll wipe the spit from the edges of my mouth. As per your suggestion, I'll even cancel the anthrax letter. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I put on my extra special dress shirt just to send you a fan pic. It was either this or my clown suit. Since I couldn't guarantee Trevor would open the email first, I went with the retro look. Thanks for all the hard work, everyone. Keep up the great content. Maybe even keep Brian around. From Ian.
That's nice, but it's Brian with Y. So, are we keeping Brian with an I or Brian with
I thought it was Brian with a B, like Bryab. Am I wrong?
No.
Wrong?
I'm sure he'll adopt Bryab.
Bryab. Okay, let me share Ian's picture here because he sent it in. Boom, there you go.
Yeah, I have the exact same T-shirt, but not the exact same look he has.
No, it's a different look, but yeah, Canadian. Yeah. Oh yeah, T-shirts got shipped yesterday, so they're on the way to my place. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So those should be coming
from China.
No, from the U.S.
Okay, so relatively quickly.
Yeah, last time they did this, it showed up. I would be surprised if I don't have it by Monday.
Okay.
Which means I need to look through the Patreonies and figure out who to send a t-shirt to and start emailing about sizes. Oh, it's going to be so much work.
Ian, do you need a new t-shirt apparently to
He does. He's got like that ancient CRR one. Yeah. Yeah, he needs a new t-shirt. I need a new t-shirt. Yeah. Do you want to take this one from Steven?
Okay, it's from Steven. He says, I just started listening to Slamfire Radio and really enjoy it. Well, thank you. I've been thinking of doing a 3-gun competition and found out I need to take a black badge course. I've heard you say that you need to practice with dry firing your pistol. I've always been told never to dry fire a firearm ever. Do you use snap caps when you're dry firing? What else should I practice before taking the black badge course? I've Googled things, but I'm a little on the new side of pistols to fully grasp what I should do. If you could point me in to a good YouTube video or website, or even if you could go over it on your podcast or in the past episodes, that would really help. Also, have you or could you go over some of your firearms that you use and why you like them over everything else? Thanks and keep up the great work. So, does he really need his black badge course if he's going to be doing a 3-gun competition?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on his club. Some of the clubs might want it just to show like a little bit of competency.
Yeah.
So
if I was going to go and do a 3-gun competition out at Chaz, would I actually have to show them that I have a black badge?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No black badge required. Now, if you are going to go for your black badge, heck, go for it. It's a great course and really really useful training. We covered this in Slamfire
Last.
Radio episode 173. So that covers going for your black badge. I think we recovered it again.
We talked about it last week.
Did we? Oh, last week then.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was last week, or maybe it was maybe it was during that time when I was like listening to them all. But Trevor was talking about the fact that, you know what, it's not supposed to be used as you should be coming to a black badge course. Yes, it was last week. Already competent with your pistol, so it's not there to be used as a pistol training course. However, it's going to give you some of the fundamentals as well. So.
Yeah, and I would say like you wouldn't want to go too far. You'd want to go far enough to where you can shoot and reload and use your gun safely, use all the controls on it, hit what you're aiming at when you want to every once in a while. But
that's always good.
You may not want to have bad habits built up on your draw. You may not want to have bad habits built up on your reloads. You just want to do them safely and accurately. And then you may want to go to the black badge to and Trevor's listening to this probably yelling, but you do learn a lot from doing your black badge, and you may want to learn from the instructor at your black badge how to properly do a draw, how to properly grip the pistol and all that kind of stuff. But you definitely don't want to show up to your black badge and be a danger or not be able to shoot what you're aiming at or have problems like operating your gun. You should be able to reload. You should be able to cycle the action. You should know where the slide lock is, the safety if it has one, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. He's got a couple of other questions kind of built in here.
Dry
never
firing.
dry fire your pistol.
I dry fire. Do you dry fire?
Lots. And all the really competitive IPSC shooters will all dry fire their pistols. Lots. Like every day dry fire their pistols if they really want to stay up on top of their game.
No, he's talking, I think, 22 caliber. Some rifles, 22 caliber, you can't do it. You have to have a magazine. But pistols, yeah.
Yeah. Dry fire. Yeah, you don't want to dry fire your 22 because a lot of them, the firing pin will start to hit if that's your breech. The firing pin hits the edge of it and will slowly peen it out and may cause a ridge or may break your firing pin. Some of the modern 22s don't care. Your Ruger 1022 is fine to dry fire. Your pistols, your 9mm pistols, your modern combat pistols are all fine with dry firing. It like 100% fine. So that stuff's all fine. You don't need snap caps for those. If you're going to dry fire a 22, you may want to use a snap cap, but for the rest of this stuff, you don't.
No, you're good.
Yeah, just like in prep for doing dry fire, you definitely want to lock your slide to the rear. Check all the magazines in your area. Make sure they're all really empty. Make sure that the dummy ammo that you have in your area is all really dummy ammo. And make sure that you don't have any live ammunition even in the vicinity, because you don't want to I don't know, like fill a magazine for the match and then forget that that's your real quote unquote like match magazine and end up using that and icing your monitor, putting a hole in your monitor kind of thing, right? Or your wall or something worse, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, dry fire is a thing, and yes, it's okay. And all the really good pistol shooters will all be doing a lot of dry fire practice because that trigger press is so important in pistol shooting. So definitely do that. In terms of prep for the Black Badge course, I would go to Slamfire Radio episode 173 for like a full list. We talked about prep and practice last episode. We've got even more on 173, so let's take a listen to a couple of those because we've got some good stuff there.
Right. Take a course, the fundamentals course beforehand too. So, for example, if you are in Alberta, and take the Ferlage course, or you can. I took one with Rick Woods. I do know that there's some all over the place. So take a fundamentals course, and then start building upon it. That's my advice.
Yeah, right. I mean, like the course itself will give you some really good basics as well. So
you're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Well, if you'd like to, did we answer all those questions?
I think so.
What were your favorite guns? We can hit that up on a different podcast. We've hit that a couple of times, and it would be interesting to hit it again, but maybe on a different episode.
Why don't we bring Trevor in? Because he's a gun.
Maybe on an episode we need to kill like 45 minutes on.
I was going to say something else, but yes. Okay.
If you'd like to email the show, send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. We don't have any iTunes reviews or any other online podcast reviews, but if you'd like to, head on over to iTunes. And if you can't stand iTunes, go over to BeanPod, or Pocket Casts or Podcatcher, Podbean, whatever thing you've got there, and review us. It just helps the show get seen a little bit more, and helps more people find us.
Right.
Kelly, do you have any shout-outs?
I do. I have one for Brian with a Y. It's happy birthday. Today's his birthday, so I just wanted to say happy birthday. And also to Trevor and Adriel, thank you for sending my gun and my holster. And you guys are all going to get 5-star ratings because you guys are awesome.
Oh, yeah. Ratings on CGN. Yeah, I need one of those.
Okay. Yeah. I can go and do one.
Yeah. I'll give you one too. That's the whole idea with this thing.
Yeah, okay. We should probably talk about that off air. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other shout-outs?
No, that's it for me.
Awesome. We have 92 Patreon supporters. Our Patreonies get extra content. They get stickers and patches and whatnot in the mail when I remember to mail it out to them, and they send in their address. Especially that address part. I need that.
Yeah.
And for some level, we're going to start mailing out some t-shirts to you guys as well. If you want to be a Patreon and support us, go to patreon.com/slamfireradio or go on our website, slamfireradio.com. And we've got like a button on the left-hand side or something like that that says Patreon on it.
Pretty easy.
Very easy. Yep.
It's so easy. I joined as well.
Us?
Yeah, I'm supporting us.
This is not how it's supposed to go, Kelly. Other people are supposed to be supporting us. We're the ones doing the podcast and putting in the hours to produce it and edit and all that kind of stuff. And you just wanted to support it.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. Hey, if Kelly is supporting Kelly, come on, guys. Some of you can support Kelly as well. Kelly supports herself.
I'm not too happy lately, so I just need to go and amend my contribution. No, just kidding.
All right. Please join one or more of our national firearms associations, such as the CCFR or the CSSA. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. And hit us up on Reddit. I'm on Reddit. Kelly's on Reddit. We're usually over on Canada Guns. And that's a great little community as well over there. A little bit of an alternative community. Lots of these days, lots of funny memes and that kind of thing. That's mostly what they're posting.
Yeah.
If you look at the top of the week, usually it's stuff that has nothing to do with anything, and it's just silly memes that are funny.
My dog. Look at my dog. He's wearing clothes.
Yeah. Or people taking a picture of the gun, and there's something weird happening with their feet. They're showing their feet and their hardwood floor, and that's a thing now. Yeah. It's hilarious, and at the same time, I love it. I love that weirdness. Anyways, thanks for watching, folks. Watching, listening, whatever you're doing.